Well, I'm starting this video off by giving Mortal Kombat a 6 out of 10. If you don't want me to negatively critique this film, you should probably bail now. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I upload new content. Now let's dive in. Now, I'm coming at this review as a fan of the game, a fan of Hong Kong cinema, and as a martial artist. As a fan of Hong Kong cinema, I expected so much more from this film. I was born in the 80s, but I'm a child of the 90s, and that was the era where great martial arts films were being imported from Hong Kong. I grew up with films like Millionaires Express, Once Upon a Time in China, Iron Monkey, Chun and Heroic Trio, just to name a few. Those movies had high caliber stunts and choreography that made those films. Sometimes I would fast forward through the movie to get directly to those scenes because they were just that good. Now, how does this correlate to the Mortal Kombat movie? Well, as a fan of the game is all about violence and martial arts with fantasy elements. I always have expected the movie to be a mixture of like Enter the Dragon and Heroic Trio. Enter the Dragon because it's a martial arts tournament movie, and Heroic Trio specifically for the fantasy elements. We get a small glimpse of this in the 1995 Mortal Kombat film, but it feels like the executives back then were too scared to pull the trigger on the R rating in the Hong Kong cinema-style fantasy. The game was rated mature for being hyper-violent among other controversial things, but the violence is what made the game thrilling and exciting for me and people my age. You know, I was that kid that was playing in a safe mode while my parents were home, and then when they were gone, unlocking it to see all the blood and gore. So, I watched the movie with very low expectations. The thing that got me excited though were the first 10 minutes of the film. The backstory of Sub-Zero and Scorpion were the best parts of the film for me. The stunts were amazing, the actors that they casted were phenomenal, and the story behind the feud had some substance. Everything after that, though, was a big disappointment. They had one of the main actors from the Raid film, and I wonder what the film would have been like if they had hired the Raid stunt choreographer. I think the film would have been at least 1.5 points higher. There would still be some complaints about the story, but at least the martial arts fans could have got something out of it. The story was just story. I expect nothing less from studios nowadays. I expect them not to care about the source material, to give us avatar characters to explain the world and exposition. I expect them not to use their creativity to introduce a new world, characters, and the situation of the film to the audience. I expect not to have any expectations for the film. This is the way our video game films have been treated throughout the years, and it's just par for the course. Sorry I'm being so bitchy about this movie, but it's just my opinion. I guess this film falls victim to the video game movie curse.